Hello guys, welcome back. My name is Emmanuel, and in today's video I'll be showing you guys how to host a website on AWS. So let me first start by showing you the website we'll be hosting with AWS. So let me go on my local computer right here, and as you can see it says law firm. So this is the website we'll be hosting on AWS. Let me click on index.html. Oh, 1 second, it took the website to this other page right here, which is not what I want. So this is the website right here. So this is the website we'll be hosting on AWS. It's a basic website. It says it's a basic website, right? Now this is an amazing thing you can add on your resume. So we can assume that this website is the UI version of an application, right? And you can add on your resume that I worked on a project where I was required to host, right? To host the UI version of an application, and I used S3 and EC2 to do that. So, and that's exactly what we'll be seeing how to do today. So, as you can see, all I have here is, let me just minimize this. All I have here is just a folder that contains the files, right? The codes of the website written in HTML. So, the first thing I want you to do is to zip this folder. Now, I know you're asking yourself, where can I get this folder? Where can I get this? So I'll put a link. I'll put a link in the description below where you can go and download this folder and use it to do whatever thing you want to do with it, right? So the first thing I want you to do is, once you download this folder, is to zip this folder, right? Make sure it's zipped like this. Then go on AWS, and I want you to click on S3. So if you cannot find S3 here, you can always go on services, storage, S3, right? Or just type S3 in the search bar and you'll be fine. Then the next thing I want you to do is to create an S3 bucket. Remember, S3 is object storage, right? It's used for object storage, and this is an object right here, and we want to store it on S3. So I want you to create a bucket. Click on create bucket, then give your bucket a name. So you have to remember that bucket names are globally unique, so two buckets cannot have the same name. So I'm just going to call mine demo law firm. Then I'll just do something like Emmanuel to make sure that it's globally unique and no one else has this same name. Then the next thing I want to do is, or the next step is to choose an AWS region. Now you don't need to worry about an AWS region. Why? Because remember, S3 is a global service, so you don't need to worry about choosing a region. Then the next thing it's going to ask you is for object ownership. So just leave it on default object ownership right here, this one right here. Then just scroll down, and what I want you to do is where it says block public access settings for this bucket, I want you to uncheck that. Now let me try to sketch out what they're trying to see here. So if I go to sketch.io, let me just try to sketch out what they're saying. So let me start a new sketch. Now, if you check this, here's what is going to happen. So we have our S3 bucket right here, right? Our S3 bucket right here. So this is S3, and in that S3 we upload our files, right? Now we have our user right here, I'm not good at drawing things. Now, when the user tries to access this website that's in this S3 bucket, he will not be able to access. He will get a message that says access denied. So he will get an access deny message. But if we uncheck this, right, they may be able to access this S3 bucket. They may be able, right? They may be able. They will not be able to access it now, but we're going to make it in such a way that they can access it like anytime, any day, any hour, they can access it. So in order to make it possible for this guy to access this bucket, you must uncheck this thing right here. So make sure you uncheck that. Then Amazon will try to lecture you on the effect of unchecking that feature, which is fine. I just want you to click on this button right here that says I acknowledge that the current settings may result in this bucket and the object within becoming public. That's exactly what we want. We want the object in the bucket to be public. Then it's going to ask you for bucket versioning. Don't worry about that. Just leave that for the moment. Then it's going to ask you for a tag. You can always put a tag, add a tag if you want. I'm not going to add a tag. I don't see no need. I don't see no need for doing that. Then it's going to say choose an encryption. Then you see it says server side encryption is disabled. Make sure it's disabled. Now, we want our customers, we want John and Mary to be able to access this website. So encrypting that website will only make things difficult for John and Mary, right? So make sure that server-side encryption is disabled. Then click on create bucket. Now our bucket has been created, and this is the bucket right here. It says demo law firm Emmanuel, and it says object can be public. But this one obviously is public, but this one says object can be public. So even though we disabled that functionality that's blocking people from accessing the object is still not public. So what I want you to do is to click on the demo law firm Emmanuel, and we need to upload our website files or our zip folder onto this S3 bucket. So I'm talking about this website right here. So remember, this is our website. This is the only thing we have, right? This is the only thing we have. So we need to upload it in our S3 bucket. So go back, click on upload, click on add files, and click on lawfirm.zip. Now you can do all of this using the AWS CLI. I'm just doing this manually because I assume that you're brand new to AWS, you're still learning. So that's why I'm doing this manually. Then the next thing I want you to do is to click on upload. It's uploading. It's taking some time to upload. Yeah, so close this. Now, if you go in your S3 bucket, as you can see, we are in that S3 bucket. And if you look at objects, and under object, you see that we now have that lawfirm.zip file in this S3 bucket. So our website just left our local computer and it's now in the cloud. So it's now on AWS, but it's still not a website yet, right? The customer cannot access this website yet. So if I click on lawfirm.zip, then I copy this object and I paste it in my browser and I hit enter. As you can see, it says access denied, right? It says access denied. Now remember the message we saw here. We saw a message here that says that let me go back. That says object can be public. It didn't say the object is public. It says the object can be public, but we need this object to be public. So in order for us to make it in such a way that the object will be public, we need to create a policy and attach that policy to that S3 bucket so that all the objects within that S3 bucket can be publicly accessible. So to create that policy, I want you to click on the bucket name. Then where it says permissions, I want you to click on that. Then just scroll down and I want you to click on edit bucket policy. So we need to create a policy that makes it possible, that makes it easy for anyone anywhere in the world to access the object stored in that bucket. So you can write the policy yourself right here. You can just write the policy right here, or you can do what I love doing, just generate the policy, right? Just click on policy generator and you'll be taken to a page that looks like this. So it's time for us to generate the policy we're going to use. So the first thing, as you can, the first thing it's going to ask us is to select the policy type. So I want you to click on this and I want you to select S3 policy. Then the effect will be allow. So we want to make it in such a way that anyone anywhere in the world can access the object stored in that S3 bucket. So click on allow. The principle is just have like star there is fine. Then the action we want is get object. So look for get object, for right here, get object. So click on that. Then it's going to ask you for the Amazon resource name. So in order for you to get the Amazon resource name, go back to this bucket and I want you to click on the bucket, click on properties, and right here, select that and paste that in here. And click on add statement. Then the next thing I want you to do is click on generate policy. And now we have our policy right here. So what this policy will do is that it would make the object in this S3 bucket publicly accessible anywhere, anytime. So just take this out, paste that policy and hit save changes. Oh, if you get an error like this, do not panic. It says unknown error, unexpected error occurred. Then it says, let me see, API response, action does not apply to any resource or resources in the statement. Okay, yeah. So we just have to look through the policy and yeah, right here. Then we do a star, then we save it. Cool. So now if we go back to Amazon S3, we look at the bucket right here, the demo law firm Emmanuel, you're going to see that it says public. So now the object in that bucket is publicly accessible and anyone anywhere in the world can access it. So if you want to test this, it's pretty simple. All you need to do is click on the bucket, click on the object, copy this URL, then paste it back. Just paste the object back, paste it in there, hit enter. You see it starts downloading. So it means that object, that particular object, it's publicly accessible and anyone anywhere in the world with this link can access that object. So the next thing I want you to do is to go back. Then what I want you to do next is to spin up an EC2 instance. So click on services, then click on EC2, or just you can click on services, click on compute, then click on EC2. Then we need to spin up an EC2 instance. So we need to launch an EC2 instance. So click on launch instances, then select the Amazon Linux 2 AMI, click select. Then it's going to ask you for an instance type. So just leave it on T2 micro. T2 micro is fine. Click on configure instance. Now you won't get this error. You won't get that error. So it's going to ask you for the number of instances. Just leave it on 1. Just leave it on 1. What I want you to do is make sure this is on 1. Then leave it on the default subnet you have. Do not change it. Then for any other thing on this page, the most important thing I want you to do is to make sure that auto assign public IP is enabled. Make sure that that is enabled. That's the only thing I want you to do, or I want you to check on this page. If it's enabled, fine. If it's not enabled, make sure you click and you enable it, right? Then once that is done, I want you to click on add storage. Storage is fine. I want you to click on add tag. Then we're just going to give our server a name. So I'll just call this law firm. So I'll just call this law firm server. I'll click add security groups. Now I need to create a security group. So you can either choose an existing security group or create your own security group. So I'm just going to create a security group and I'll call this law firm. Then I'll call this law firm security group. Then it's going to ask for a description. You can choose to give a description if you want or not. I personally, I don't like giving descriptions, especially when I'm working in a test environment. If it's in a production environment, I'm definitely going to give a description to better understand what this security group is for. But since we're doing this for learning purposes, there's no need giving a description. That's fine. So the first role I want you to add, which is there by default, is the SSH, which stands for secure share. So make sure you have this, make sure it's on port 22, and make sure the source is from anywhere. You can even change the source to your IP, just your IP. That's defined. You're still going to connect, you're still going to SSH, which is fine, but just leave it on custom and just leave it on anywhere 00, right? That's defined. Then I want you to add a second role, and that role will be the HTTP role, right? So add the HTTP role, click that and click on HTTP, and it's listed on port 80. The source is custom anyway, that's fine. Then click on review and launch. I think everything is fine. Click on launch. Then it's going to ask you to choose an existing key pair or create your own key pair. Now you can create your own key pair. Just give your key pair name, download it, then launch your instance. But for me, I would choose an existing key pair, which is this key pair right here, and acknowledge. I have it. As you can see, this is the key pair. I have it on my desktop. So you have to make sure that if you are choosing the key pair you previously created, make sure you have that key pair, because if you do not have that key pair, there's no way you can get into that EC2 instance. So make sure you have that key pair saved on your local machine. Then the next thing I want you to do is let's go back and let's click on launch instances. So it gives me this error that says security group law firm already exists. That's fine. So I'm just going to go back to review, and on that security group or edit security group, I'll just add Emmanuel. I shall have it, launch. Now, if you see the error I just saw right now, it means you already have a security group name. The reason I encountered an error like this is because I already have a security group that has that name. That's why there's this error. So you cannot create two security group with the same name in your account. So there's no need to do that. So just go use the other security group you created. So the next thing I want to do is click on view instances. As you can see, our instance is pending. So what I'm going to do is pause this video, then come back when the instance is running. So guys, I'm back. So as you can see, our EC2 instance is now running, which is good. So the next thing we need to do is to SSH into this EC2 instance. So I'm on Mac, so I'm going to use my terminal to SSH. If you're on Mac, it's pretty simple. If you are on Windows, it's still simple. You just have to use PuTTY. Since I'm on Mac, I'll just use my Mac to SSH. So let me open my terminal so you can see. I want to make this content right here bigger. So we all can see. So to make it bigger, just hit on Command plus, and that's it. So I need to SSH into that EC2 instance. So what I need to do is to click on connect, and as you can see, there are different ways to connect to an EC2 instance, but the way we want to do it is through SSH, right? Which stands for secure shared or secure socket share. SSH, then just copy this whole link right here. As you can see, it has everything. It has your key pair, your user, it has your IP address, it has everything. So just go back to your terminal and hit enter, and it's going to ask you, are you sure you want to continue connecting? Obviously I want to continue, so I'm going to hit on yes. Then it's going to say permission denied. So the reason it's saying permission denied is because I need to tell my machine where my key pair is. So in order for me to do that, I need to do something like ls. So as you can see, my key pair is right here. It's on my desktop. So I need to change and go to the directory where my key pair is. So go back, do cd. So cd means change directory. Desktop is where the key pair is. Hit enter, then paste that link one more time, hit enter. As you can see, we are now in our EC2 instance. We are in our virtual machine. The next thing I want you to do is to, as you can see, we are the EC2 user. We want to switch to the root user. So do something like sudo su. Now we are the root user right here. Then I just want to update my EC2 instance. Now note, there are times you may try to update your EC2 instance, it would update, and there are times you may try to update it and it won't update. So if it does not update, that's fine. You can continue. So just do something like sudo yum update. Hit enter. Mine is updating, which is a good thing. Yes. And yeah, it's updating now. Clear. Now we have SSH into our EC2 instance. The next thing we need to do is to install Apache, right? So to install Apache, just do sudo yum install httpd. Sudo yum install httpd. Hit enter and hit yes. So if you don't want to keep typing yes, you can just do like the sudo yum install httpd -y, right? That's going to work perfectly. So we need to clear. Great. Now Apache has been installed on our EC2 instance. So if we go back here, we click on our instance, we copy our public IP, and we just paste it in here. It's going to say that this site can be reached. Even though Apache has been installed, Apache has not been enabled. So we need to enable and start Apache, right? So to do that, go back to your terminal. I want you to type system cdr start httpd. Hit enter, enable it. So enable it by doing system cdr enable httpd. Hit enter, and it has been enabled. So Apache has started and Apache has been enabled. Now we can check. There are two ways to check if Apache is running normally. The first way is I can just type a command on my terminal right here, and it will tell me if Apache is running, right? So the command is system cdr status system cdr status httpd, and I hit enter. As you can see, it says here that active and it's showing green. If you're not seeing green, it means there's a problem. Now we know that Apache is running. So this is just one way to see or to test and know and understand if Apache is actually running on our system. Another way we can use to test if Apache is running on our system is to go back here. As you can see, Apache is running right here. So if you don't believe, you can just close all of these and just copy the IP address and paste it in here and hit enter. That's it. Apache is now running on our EC2 instance. Apache is running on our server, right? Which is a good thing because we need Apache in order for us to host our website. So now it says here that if you are the website administrator, you may now add content to the directory var www var html. So we need to go to this directory. Now, let me explain something. This is our website files. In order for us to host this website, we need these files to be in this directory right here, right? To be in this directory. So if I go back on my terminal and I type pwd to see the directory where I'm found, you see I'm in the home directory. So I'm in the home/ec2 user directory. That's not the directory where we want to be in. We want to be in this directory if we want to host our website. So we need to change and go to that directory. And to change that directory is very simple. Remember the command I used to switch directories in order to get my key pair is the same thing you're going to do here. So all you need to do is type cd, which stands for change directory, and you can manually type that thing, or you can just come here and copy this and just paste it in here, right? So I want to change to this directory and hit enter. Now we are in this directory. And how do I know? If I type pwd, I hit enter, you see I'm now in this directory, and that's exactly the directory where you want to be. Because if you're not in this directory and you download your website files onto this directory, trust me, it won't work. So the next thing we do, once we find ourselves in this directory, the next thing we need to do is to download the files in our S3 bucket on our server, right? So to do that, just type wget. So we want to get the files, and we need to get the files from where? S3. So we need to tell our server, our EC2 server, that the file is found in S3. So to do that, we need to go back to S3. We need to click on this. We need to go on S3 right here. Click on that S3 bucket, click on the file. Then we need to copy this right here that says object URL. So copy that, go back to your terminal, and we need to tell our EC2 instance that that's a file we want them to download. So hit enter. As you can see, it has downloaded all the files on our server. Now, if I do lx, you see this is right here, right? These are the files right here. But now there's a problem. This is zipped, right? The file is zipped. So what I need to do is to unzip this file. And to unzip this file is pretty simple. Just type the command unzip the file name. You have to understand something. When you're typing these commands, you have to be as precise as possible because Linux is sensitive. If I put a capital letter rather than a small letter, it's not going to work. So you type lawfirm unzip lawfirm.zip, and I hit enter. Now, as you can see, it has unzipped our zipped folder. So this is just what happened right now. Let me go back to my local machine and try to explain what happened. So let me delete this. Delete this. So we have this file right here that's zipped. So if I click on this, it has unzipped, right? So we just unzipped, like just me doing it right now. Now, what we need to do is, if we go back here and we type something like, let me clear my screen. Now, if I type something like LX, you'll see that this file has been unzipped, right? But now, what I need to do is to get the files that are in here, to get the files that are in this direction, that are in this folder, in my var/ww/html. I need to get the files there. So what I need to do is to type, to move the file. So I need to do wv, and I need to type a command. Give me 1 second. So I need to type the command. Just give me 1 second. Cool. So I need to type the command move. Then I need to specify the name, law firm. Then I need to put /that asterisk to move all the files. Then I need to do dot, hit enter. Now if I do LX, you see now all my files are in the directory where I want them to be. So if I do pwd, you see we are in this directory and all these files are in that directory. So all we need to do now is to restart HTTPD, right? So just type the command system cdr start HTTPD and hit enter. Now if I go back to my browser and I refresh this page, as you can see, now we have our website. So this website is now running online and anyone anywhere can access this website if they have this IP address. And you can do another thing. You can do something pretty simple. You can just go right here on EC2, click on that, and what you can do is you can request an elastic IP. So allocate elastic IP and allocate. Now you have an elastic IP right here. Then what you can do is to associate this elastic IP with that EC2 instance. So you can do like associate with that EC2 instance. Is this one right here? Private IP, that's fine. If you don't know where this private IP is coming from, let me show you where the private IP is coming from. So if I go back on instances, I click on that instance, as you can see is this IP right here, 0.32. 0.32. Click on associate. So now if I refresh my instance right here, as you can see now my instance now has what? It now has an elastic IP. So if I copy this elastic IP and I paste it in there, you see my website is still going to show up. My website is still going to pop up, right? Now another thing I can do now once I have this elastic IP is I can use another service called Route 53. I can use another AWS service called Route 53. So I'm just going to type Route 53 right there. Oh, what am I typing like that? So I can use now Route 53 and I can go and create a record, right? So I can buy a domain name. I can buy a domain name for like $12, then create your records, then create an alias record, I think, then associate this, map this elastic IP to that domain. Then I just need to give that domain to my customers and they can access this website anytime, any day, and do whatever thing they want to do with it. So guys, that is how to host a website on AWS using S3, EC2, elastic IPs, and Route 53. Thanks for watching.